welcome to the Forgotten Trimester YouTube channel, where we discuss all things postpartum. On this episode, we are going to chat about the basics of breastfeeding. So the beginning of breastfeeding, understanding baby, breast, and brain, and how it's all connected and how we actually produce breast milk. So sit back, relax, and let's chat. I'm your host, Dr. Megan Gray. I am a board-certified OBGYN and mother of two littles. So welcome. I'm glad to have you here today. We are chatting about the beginning of breastfeeding, the very basics. How does breastfeeding work? And I think that if you understand how breastfeeding works, it can kind of make that whole beginning of breastfeeding a little bit easier and maybe a little bit less stressful. So let's talk about the two basic hormones that you need to breastfeed. One is prolactin, and the second is oxytocin. So both of those hormones are produced in the brain, and they are produced when the breast is stimulated. So how do we stimulate the breast? The baby or you can actually stimulate the breast touching the nipple. So when a baby suckles at the nipple, or actually you manipulate your nipples, it tells your brain to produce those two hormones, prolactin and oxytocin. Those two hormones are very, very important in the whole breastfeeding physiology and how breast milk is produced. And we're going to go over the very basic aspects of this in this episode. So let's say we have our baby latched to the breast. When that baby latches onto the breast and starts suckling, the brain produces oxytocin first. So oxytocin is the first hormone produced as soon as the breast is stimulated. And oxytocin tells the breast tissue to contract. So our breast tissue has tiny little sacs at the end of it, and they get filled with milk. And when they're filled with milk and you have a release of oxytocin, those little saccules will contract and eject the milk out of the nipple. So the whole point of oxytocin is to allow that breast milk that is already collected in the breast to flow, and so that the baby gets the milk pretty immediately after starting the suckling. The second hormone that is produced that is very important in breastfeeding is prolactin. So as soon as we get the baby latched, the baby starts suckling, your brain produces oxytocin, and then the second hormone is prolactin. Prolactin actually stimulates the breast tissue to produce more milk. So the amount of prolactin that your brain produces actually is at its height about 20 to 30 minutes into a breastfeeding session. So that means what's happening is that the prolactin hormone is telling that breast tissue to produce more milk for the next feeding. All right, so you're collecting the milk into those saccules for the next feeding. So if you think about that and the importance of that, you will realize that especially in those first couple days to weeks when we are establishing our breast milk supply, it is very important that we stimulate the breast frequently. The more frequently you stimulate the breast, the more frequently you produce the prolactin, the more frequently your body is going to get the response or the message to produce more milk. So it's a very much demand supply thing. So you can think of it as let's think of it as a factory producing widgets. If you have a ton of people at Target that want that widget, the factory workers will have to produce more widgets to meet the demand. Same thing with the breast. If the baby's at the breast frequently and demanding frequently, the brain is going to tell the breast, you need to produce more milk for this baby. So assuming that mommy's breast tissue and brain are functioning appropriately, the more you demand, the more supply you will make. Now, not everyone reads the textbooks. Not everyone's bodies are made exactly like the textbooks tell us. So some women will have difficulty with breastfeeding, and it may be because of the hormones. It could be that the brain is not producing prolactin or oxytocin appropriately, or it may actually be the breast tissue. There's not enough breast tissue there, or the breast tissue is not producing getting the response to eject the milk. Or the baby's not latching well, and so you're not getting the signal from the nipple to the brain to produce the prolactin and the oxytocin. So I hope this simplification of breastfeeding and the beginnings of breastfeeding and the pathophysiology of breastfeeding helps with maybe calming your nerves, that there is a process and it does make sense if you sit down and think about it. So I hope you like this information. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, follow me, tell your friends, and join me next time for the next episode on Forgotten Trimester. See you later. Bye-bye.